Hello and welcome to the two-man power trip of wrestling. My host, JP John Poz. With me today, very special guest. He is a hip-hop theme maker for the wrestling world, of course, motivational speaker, podcast host, YouTube channel extraordinaire, Mr. Monteasy. What's going on, Teasy Jones?
Peace. Everything's good, man. Everything's good in copacetic, man. I'm feeling good. Just left the gym here. Just had to get a workout in, trying to get back right. So yeah, man, I'm good, man. I thank you for the opportunity to come on the two-man power trip and have some fun, man. I appreciate it.
I know I missed a couple things there because you do so many different things. You're all over the place. But what's going on in your world? How busy are you right now?
Man, if there was another word for it, brother, I wish I'd tell you, man. I just music, whether it's music, the executive producing other people's projects, my own stuff, the motivational speaking stuff that I'm working on. Uh, I mean, the theme songs that I'm working on, obviously, the podcast. There's so many things that I got my hands in creatively that keeps me busy. And they always say idle hands are the devil's playground. So I try not to be idle. I have rest days, I have rest time, but I always try to keep myself busy and multiple juggle different things, just kind of way that I'm wired. So a lot of great things is coming in 2025 for sure, with the music, with Teasy's Table, with working with different artists on different things. I mean, the motivational stuff I'm definitely doing more of. My Teasy's Top 5 I'm going to be start bringing back up next month. So excuse me, I am busy, man. I am slammed.
Now, Teasy's Table, obviously doing a podcast there. All wrestling, mostly wrestling, or what are you focusing in on?
It's about, I would say, about 60% wrestling, 60% wrestling, and 40% other people from other dynamics. I like to balance it just so people can see who I am and who people I can have conversations with outside of wrestling. And then I just shot 3 pilot episodes for my next few ones that I'm going to be dropping. They're all wrestling related, so those will be out. Those will be announcing soon. Trying to do one a month, if not every other month, just to let the content build. But it's been a lot of fun, man. It's been a lot of fun trying to keep my one a month out there or every other month. So it's really good. Just had adult entertainment legend Sarah J on there, which is really doing well numbers wise. And now, I'm gonna switch back. Well, my next announcement is gonna be in wrestling related. So it's gonna be it's a lot of fun, man. I'm just happy that people, after all this time, still want to check in with what I'm doing, and not only show love to what I'm doing, but to stay active, to stay busy, and people still want to hear what I have to say after all this time in this. It means a lot. So I'm definitely blessed.
Very, very cool. Now, what's going on as far as wrestling and you? Like, are you like really involved, or like what's going on with far as you like in Swerve in wrestling? Anything as far as the business is concerned?
Yeah. I'm still doing theme songs and stuff like that. Still cooking. Still staying busy with that. I have a couple things I have to do, a couple projects I have to work on here shortly after deliver, but that's being worked on. TZ's Table is still wrestling affiliated, just branching out into both sides of the content, the outside world and inside. Swerve City podcast will probably be back soon. We took a little bit of hiatus because Swerve, when Swerve won the championship, he was ultimately busy, and we had some rebranding things we want to do with the podcast. So Swerve City podcast will be back when it's time. But I'm just focused on TC's Table right now, making that happen and being able to build the platform to build that. And things are still cooking, man. I'm still doing. I do Boca Raton Championship Wrestling here in Florida. I'm naturally here at their shows, doing content, doing media, helping them executive produce and produce their show, and still go through some other indie shows and stuff like that that's happening in the area. I just pick my spots and go show love to the new talent. Still show love to a lot of the up and coming guys, wrestlers that are coming up, to show love to them, and do music for them and help them with their brand, to help build them up, and always trying to give back to the culture that gave me everything.
When I think about like when I do these interviews, I'm always like curious as like when did you like the guests get into wrestling? Like when did like where did you grow up and kind of when did you get into wrestling? Because I always feel like that's so kind of key. It's like where were you born and then kind of when did you get into wrestling? Because I feel like if it's Northeast, you're probably a WWF guy. You know what I mean? Certain if you're South, it's probably NWA to a certain extent. So what about you? Like where did you kind of grow up and how did you kind of become a fan or what were you a fan of?
Well, when I was younger, my grandmother had VHS tapes because my granddad, he used to watch WWF, so he used to have me watching it when I was a little boy, and it was always WWF. And we're from New York, so that's that area, the Vince, Vince McMahon Senior, Vince McMahon era, and watching that, it was just something that really intrigued me. My first pay per view I ever watched was WrestleMania 8 in the Hoosier Dome in Indiana. The very first pay per view I had on VHS. It was the Hulk Hogan retirement tour about is this going to be his last match against Sid Justice, Randy Savage versus Ric Flair, the Elizabeth storyline, which is one of my favorite angles of all time. Very relatable too. My favorite wrestler of all time, Bret Hart versus Roddy Piper, one of my favorite matches of all time. Undertaker versus Jake the Snake, Tito Santana versus Shawn Michaels. Um, just when the World Warriors came out with Paul Ellering and did the promo and everything. I love that pay-per-view. Still, I love that pay-per-view so much because it's the very first one I remember watching, but I was hooked on that. And I just has been entrenched with being a fan of it ever since. I thoroughly enjoy it. Even though I've been able to have, behind the scenes access to watching a lot of this, I still remain a fan of it. It still means the world to me, and to see that I can contribute by making music for these guys and girls when they come out to help them build their brand in some way. You know what I mean? I wasn't blessed with the physical gifts to be in the ring. That wasn't my thing, but musically, I've always had that talent. So if I can musically help them, then you know what I mean. That's truly all I care about, and being able to contribute my way to something that the game, the business and the game that gave me everything is wrestling. So I've been a fan forever. Like my top five always changes. It's always Brett, Macho, Shawn, Taker, and I always flip between Flair. It's like my five always switches between Flair, Jake the Snake, and Mr. Perfect. It always switches. It's hard. Naturally, I'd say Flair, but Jake the Snake was still to this day 91, 92. Jake the Snake is my favorite heel of all time in WWF. That is my favorite heel of all time. Is Trust Me, Jake the Snake. Still to this day.
Still creeps me out. That song too kind of creeps me out a little bit. Trust me, trust me. Remember, like he had like that weird new theme song. Like that was one of the things where I was like, man, he's just so creepy. You can't trust this guy. What a gimmick! That gimmick was awesome.
Awesome, man. For the short-lived time that it was there, man. The feud with Macho Man to the feud with the Undertaker, just still my favorite heel to this day. It just resonated with me so much, and the way he played that character was heel Jake the Snake. WWF was absolutely legendary. Heel heel Macho King Randy Savage was phenomenal to me. I mean, I got to thank for the good heels, man, especially the justifiable good heels that got a good reason. Like what Kevin Owens is doing now is very justifiable on why he's doing it. Drew McIntyre is very justifiable. There's a reason you boo him, but like you can't really be mad at him because it's like, okay, any human being would feel that way. So it's good, good justifiable heels is my favorite, and it just keeps me motivated as a wrestling fan.
I feel like McIntyre definitely. He's like so justifiable, but he just complains so much that you're like, all right, man, like come on, we get it already. But yeah, he's kind of right in a certain way of what he's saying. He's not lying. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not lying, man. I enjoyed Prime, Prime, Sinister, Crazy Randy Orton, 2000. 2009, 2008, Randy Orton. Very, very great time in wrestling. Watching him, I mean, Mr. Perfect, arrogant heel, Mr. Perfect. Uh, I know people throw his name in the dirt now for whatever reasons they feel that way, but Hollywood Hogan was phenomenal. Hollywood WCW Hollywood Hogan was phenomenal. Evil heel Triple H in the early 2000s, the top heel in the company. My favorite two though, my favorite heels like that I resonate with and that I love, especially me now in the music career, kind of like how I do things, is Jake the Snake and Big Evil Undertaker. Either one, I'm good, man. I'm good.
Love that Big Evil Undertaker. That was such like a kind of a cool change. I mean, he's cutting awesome promos. The guy didn't really talk before. That was just so. I don't know. I love that. Like um, his response to the what chance. He was great. Beating the crap out of David Flair, beating the crap out of Ric Flair. Yeah, Big Evil was awesome. I love that. Sure, I guess albeit short run as the evil Big Evil Taker, but that was awesome.
Yeah, for that period of time that it was able to, he was able to do it, and I kind of like that. I kind of like when certain heels maybe are like that for like a year, 8 months, a year and a half, and they kind of just leave it alone. They're like, okay, I did it, and they don't try to go back on it. Like I will always respect Chris Jericho for not going back to the list because it was probably the popular thing to do. You know what I mean? He could have ran that till it ran home, but he didn't. He cut it off when it was time to cut it off. He's like, all right, I'm done with this. I'm not saying it again. You know, and maybe at his Hall of Fame in WWE, when he goes to WWE for his Hall of Fame nod, he'll finally say it again. You know what I mean? Then it'll be that moment because people have been waiting for him to say it for 10, 5, 8 years. How many years it's been? So it's great to see. I take a lot of motivation from Chris because I've been doing wrestling music now for next month, February 28th, will be 11 years. So
Wow.
11 years being in this and still being in it. There's been different reinventions versions of me and what I've gone through and what I've done. So to see how he did it and to have many monikers and to still be relevant now, being able to do it, some will be your favorite more than others. And that's just how it goes when you have a long career. But I think that, I give a shout out to him for the inspiration as well in this, because you have to tweak things. Undertaker tweaked the gloves. He had the tear down going down the aisle for a while. He changed his jackets. He changed his suit. Do you know what I mean? His color of his jackets. He changed the makeup on his face. It's just Taker always knew when to change it up too. And I'm very inspired by it.
How'd you get into like the music aspect? Like, how'd you get into creating wrestling themes?
Well, man, it's funny because it was very random. I always had all the WWF CDs, Volume 3, Volume 4, the very first hip hop song in wrestling, the two very first hip hop songs that I knew by heart and that I loved was NWO Wolfpack, which still to this day I think is the greatest hip hop wrestling theme ever made.
Yes.
I have never made anything close to that. Nothing. And I'm very proud of my work. Still to this day, that's the most legendary hip hop wrestling theme ever made. Nothing will ever touch that to me. I think that that and D'Lo Brown's Danger at the Door. Those two songs were the very first two songs that I remembered. And I always used to play those songs out on my CDs. WWF The Music Volume 4, the green CD. I'll never forget it. Danger at the Door. And then two, Quiet is Kept. Test Soul Team. This is a test. I think Tommy Lee did that.
Yep.
It had like a hip hop rock feel to it. It had both. So, and I'm a huge like Rage Against the Machine, Red Hot Chili Peppers fan. So that realm, Linkin Park. So that realm of a blend of like rap and rock was huge for me too. So it was very random. One day I was my son was 3 years old, 3 years old at the time, and he was his mom was bringing him over before she had to go to work, and I was hanging with him, and then I was watching on the WWF network at the WWE network at the time. They were showing the playback of the Royal Rumble when the Shield debuted, when CM Punk was fighting The Rock. And when the Shield debuted, I randomly, this at the time, Roman Reigns was already a solo wrestler, but I was watching the playback. And I said, you know what? I'm going to randomly write a song about him. I did not know what I was going to do. I didn't know what I was going to say. I said, I'm just going to write a song about this dude. And it was just a random idea. And then I did it. It went viral. And then I said, you know, I'm going to keep doing this. I'm just going to try it out. I'm just going to go by the theme song king and just make theme songs for everybody who needs one. So that's the course of this journey. And then once I did that one song, I said, okay, I'm going to keep doing it. So then I went to, I did it the old fashioned route. I got in the car with the guys. I went to the indies, indie shows, and I help with the show. Just was one of the guys, and printed up. At the time, we still had CDs. I printed up CDs and handed them out for free. Made songs for guys in the promotion. Didn't charge a dime. If you was a wrestler there and you needed a theme song, I started out in Maryland. Shout out to my man Drugs for putting me in position for MCW wrestling, and I hustled my way. Just made a theme song for each and everybody. I didn't care who you was. If you needed a song, I got it. It's done. And that's how I got my name out there. So, you know, it started from that Roman Reigns Heart of a Warrior idea to where I am now 11 years. I just keep pushing. I just keep working. That's it. I just stay grounded in the work.
Now, what was like your first big song, like where like the indie wrestler or even maybe other wrestler contributed or like collab with you and was like, yes, let's do this together. I want to work with you on the theme song.
Like notable name, like a bigger
Yep.
name. It was Swerve in 2017. Swerve was because he was on his way up. So when he asked me to do it, when that record hit, it did so much for me. It brought me to a new level. It brought me to a new brand. And this is right when we started doing the podcast. It brought me to a new plateau because he co-signed me and he was on his way up. And that one and at the time ACH, those two, when ACH was wrestling, I did a song for him as well. That gave me a big look. That was played on Evolve and stuff at that time. So them two, as far as notable names, was the first two. And then when I really got that stamp of like, okay, this guy is one of the guys that is one of the top guys to do it, was the Sammy Guevara theme. So it started with Swerve and ACH, like the two like notable big names. Then like 2 years later, when AEW debuted, it was the Sammy Guevara record. Once Sammy gave me that stamp on, and it was on national television, it was like, okay, he's here.
Man, it's just crazy to think with Swerve, like the ascension since 2017, right? I mean, feels like he just was climbing the ladder all the way to the top of the business, oddly enough. You know what I mean? It's just what a run by Swerve since then.
Yeah, I'm super proud of my brother, and we talk every day. This is family at this point. This is the godfather of my kids. And he is so dedicated and motivated, and he's made all the right decisions. He's such a wonderful dude and a good man, that to see his acceleration and seeing how much he's given back and how much we give to each other as brothers, but how much he's given me, and to see where his ascension is, he deserves it. He's earned it. And it's good to, when you're a made man like that, some people lose themselves, and he's never lost himself. He works just as hard as he didn't if he didn't have anything. Such a humble, good dude, and I'm rooting for him, and I love my brother, and I'm proud of him.
When you're looking at Sammy Guevara and you're doing that theme, does AEW have to get involved, or is that just Sammy saying, "Hey, I want this theme," and like I'm going for it?
Oh, so that theme right there, the funny story is he asked me at first, and he was kind of unsure about it because he liked it, but he didn't know if it fit him at first. But the person who co-signed it and told him to use it was Cody Rhodes. So
Wow.
shout out to Cody Rhodes. Shout out to Cody Rhodes. I will always show him love because he's the one that gave Cody the voice of approval. As people remember, that was Sammy's first match on AEW was against Cody. So on the night of the debut, when Mikey, shout out to Mikey from AEW, the music producer there, head guy in charge of music, when he called me and told me about it, he was like, "Yeah, Sammy likes the record. You know what I mean? We're going to use it." And he was like, and then Sammy and Mikey said Cody told him that this is a hit. Cody Rhodes said this is the one. Use this. This is a hit record. And Sammy's used it ever since the beginning for all these years. I performed with him live for it at AEW Grand Slam a year ago, and I am blessed, man. It's changed my life, brother. It's done so much for me, and I'm super grateful.
What was that experience like? Because it's like, okay, I created the theme. Not always does the person create the theme get to come out and perform the theme with the wrestler. You know, it's such a different experience, I think. So, how was that for you? How did that all come about?
Well, it was something that we've been wanting to do, but we wanted to wait for the right moment. So when that opportunity came up, actually, kind of behind the scenes, it was supposed to be with a band too, but they didn't want a band. But that was my original idea, was to do it with a band. But they was like, "Nah, just come out by yourself with them." I said, "Okay, no problem." And shout out to AEW, man, for believing in me to be able to do that. Shout out to Sammy. Shout out to Swerve for giving me the leg up to be at AEW. Shout out to everybody, for the work that I put in to get here. You know what I mean? That can't be ignored as well. The work that I put in, the relationships that's been made. Shout out to all the fans that supported. And that was one of the biggest moments of my life. And the reason why it meant so much was because that was in my home city where I was born, in front of 10,000 people, in front of the city in New York where I was born, and my family, literally a 20-minute drive from where all my family lives. You know what I mean? And to say that was in Flushing, like around Queens, New York, where I was born, to say I did that in my home city, you couldn't ask for a better story. And it meant the world to me. Sammy's such a good dude, and he believes in me. Um, shout out to his wife. Shout out to everybody, man. They've just been wonderful people. Shout out to Tony Khan, most importantly, for co-signing it and him saying, "Yeah, let's do it," because he didn't have to. And it meant so much to me, and I will never forget that, because it was everything to me. So shout out, super shout out to them.
Are you still currently doing anything with AEW? Are you technically with AEW or no?
Yeah, actually, I did. I just my song "Final Battle." Shout out to the band, the Mortal Girlfriend. They're a synth band that I work with. We're a group called Lord of Mortals. We are my music just played for them at Ring of Honor, just like Final Battle in December. Just played. It was the official theme song of Final Battle. So
Awesome. Didn't realize
make sure,
that. Awesome.
yeah. So if you go check out the show from last month, and you'll hear the song playing, that's my music with my group of Mortal Girlfriend, Lord of Mortals. So we so I'm still in the mix. Just on Who We Are Too, the hip hop theme album. So yeah, I'm still working with them. I'm still hand to hand with them. Still one of their go-to guys whenever they need something. Speak to Mikey, the music producer, often, and he's given me so many opportunities that I'm blessed for. So, man, it's good. I have a great working relationship with them. Like we're like this, so it's phenomenal.
Who do you think has the best theme song in AEW? Not like counting any of yours. Like, who do you think has the best theme?
One person?
Well, yeah. If you can bring it down to one.
I still think what Flash and Swerve did with the Big Pressure theme song was incredible. With Nana with the dance, I still think that record. I still think that record is one of the most popular and best songs in the company's history. I think so. And um, I think that was a phenomenal record the way they did that. I think that one and let me pick another genre besides that one. I love Adam Page's. I love Adam Page's. But if you're saying like currently in the company that's like employed, Adam Copeland still to this day, that theme is legendary. So I would have to say that since he's currently employed with them, I'd say that, and I would say my brother Swerve's theme is phenomenal too. Very good record.
Nana definitely adds to it. That's for sure. Right? I mean, they gotta love that dance.
Yeah, I mean the dance. I mean you put the dance with the right music, the way it was done, the record. The way it did. That's phenomenal. Took the wrestling industry. Took that helped not only helped his brand, Swerve's brand, but it took the wrestling industry to, what I mean, another place. And that's how it's supposed to be with music. You want to have something that's identical, that people can relate to, that people can, what I mean, catch on to, and it's good to see, man. It's very good to see, man. I have no problem giving roses to other artists for what they're doing. You know what I mean? How they do it, and if it catches, it catches, man. And shout out, man, because that's a phenomenal record, and I look forward to seeing how the wrestling business can continue to grow.
It's crazy. About 20 years ago, the Ring of Honor, they were bringing toilet paper rolls and throwing them at Prince Nana. Now, 20 years later, he's the one handing them out, and they're throwing them at whoever Nana and obviously Swerve are feuding with. So I love it. What a turnaround for Nana all these decades later, right? It's crazy.
He's one of the best, nicest dudes that I've ever met in this industry. He's everything they say you're supposed to be in this, especially a veteran, a good man, humble, a very nice man. He's looked out for me in so many ways that he's family. He's family to me, and I'm happy for his success because he's earned it. He did it the right way. He waited his turn, and his moment didn't come being a wrestler. It came from being a manager. Yep. You never know when your time is coming and how you might have to pivot in order for that success to come your way. Something might have to switch. You might really want to do one thing, but your money and your livelihood might come from switching up and doing something else in what you love to do. So he's earned that, and he's a phenomenal man, and I'm super proud of him, and the best is yet to come for Prince Nana for sure.
Are you just really focused on, as far as watching and fandom, focused on AEW, or you watch WWE too?
I watch WWE too. I watch everything. Yeah, I watch everything. I keep in tune on Monday nights. I watch Friday. I love Jacob Fatu. I love what Jay's doing. I love Jacob. I love Jay. I love what Gunther's doing. Big fan of them. I'm a big fan of Tiffy Time. I love Tiffy. Can't nobody tell me nothing about Tiffy. I love Tiffany Stratton. Love her. Charlotte, big fan of Charlotte still. I mean, I watch the product each and every week just to keep tabs on what's going on. And I'm enjoying to see where everything's going. WrestleMania season's coming up here soon, and I look forward to seeing how the card's being built, what's happening. You know what I mean? I like it now because it's slightly more unpredictable than it's been in the past few years, which is very good. Normally, you kind of see it a mile away in November. You're like, all right, we know where this is going. I like it right now with the way that it's being booked, that you kind of don't know with certain things. You're like, maybe they're fighting this person, that person, but there's so many inner storylines in between each other. You just don't know. And that's a good thing. And we're in January because by now you'd already start to see it. Okay, them two are fighting in the main event. You really don't know. So that's That's good. And uh, I think the wrestling business in general is flourishing on all companies. I think everybody's doing a phenomenal job with building. We everybody has things they like and don't like. I mean, that comes with the territory, but the overall business and the way things are flourishing with AEW just signing, what I mean, going on Max stuff like that, and WWE on Netflix. Things are just building, man. They're building. The companies are going into the streaming world now, the content world. So I watch everything, and I'm happy where the business is going.
When you're looking at it, it's like, wow, like with WrestleMania is concerned, it's like I saw like 5 different matches for Punk. Like he's supposed to wrestle this guy, then the next week it's this guy, and it's like, and that could be the night one main event. And the Roman Reigns, his guy changes. So I do like how it's unpredictable because you're right. Usually it's like Austin versus The Rock. We know that's set in stone. Like
Yep.
from like November on, you kind of know it. So this is definitely a different approach for Triple H. Even last year a little bit, we didn't really know. Obviously, we thought we knew what the match was, and they kind of changed it up on us. But again, this year is very unpredictable. Cody could fight 3 or 4 different guys.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know who's maybe if somebody's going to turn a different direction at this time. We really don't know. And that's the beautiful thing that I love about it is we can't call it. And that's what always makes for a better show. You know what I mean? They might know what's happening last August, but they keep it to the quiet now until February. You know what I mean? And then you start seeing it. So I'm happy, man. I'm happy to see, you know what I mean, a lot of guys getting new shine there in WWE, and um, outside of the Roman storyline, just seeing where the younger people getting some chances is good to see, and I look forward to see where it goes from WrestleMania and beyond.
So as far as WWE is concerned, like you'll always be a fan, you'll always watch them. Do you prefer AEW though, just because of the closeness, or it doesn't matter? You're just a wrestling fan.
I'm a wrestling fan. My business ties are obviously where they, where they are, just for the sense of just being, you know what I mean, whatever is, my loyalty needs to be because of people that gave me opportunities. But as far as a wrestling fan, I watch everything. I support everything. That doesn't change at all. I am tuned into everything that's going on each and every week on each side. So I keep it pretty neutral on what I watch. I watch everything, but business ties are, business. But yeah, I watch everything and keep in touch with everything. There's still a lot of the guys that I knew from the past that are there now or on either side that I have friendships with that I can reach out to and just ask how they're doing. And I've built some great relationships over the years. So it's good to see.
So I love that obviously your theme songs. You know them very well. What's like the greatest theme song of all time? Not the AW, maybe not even NW Wolfpack. What's like the or some of the greatest themes of all time? Like if you could do maybe a top 5, your just favorite themes could be anywhere of all time.
Sure. I still think the greatest theme ever made to this day is Stone Cold Steve Austin's. I don't think nothing is gonna top that glass breaking, man. I don't think anything's gonna top that. That Goldberg, Austin, Rock Hollywood theme,
Ooh, good one.
Rock Hollywood theme, Undertaker, his original, the gong, and that will always be any inclination of Undertaker's theme when he was the Dead Man, uh, uh, outside of the Big Evil and the Limp Bizkit. I'm not talking about that phase, but dark, walk slow to the ring, Undertaker for sure, and Brock Lesnar. Um, a lot of those themes that I'm saying don't even have words to them. It's just the music is so powerful
Yep.
that you hear it. When you hear that Goldberg theme and you hear it sounds like a military marching, you know what time it is. If I could give you another 5 to round up my 10, Ultimate
Yeah.
Warrior,
Ooh,
Ultimate
yes.
Ultimate Warrior, Macho Man Randy Savage, uh, Hulk Hogan, Real American, will always be.
Yep.
That goes without saying. Real American, that's 8. Excuse me. Ooh, I'll give you 2 more. It's just tough. 2 more. Obviously, you go hard pressed not to say Ric Flair, because that's classic, man. Ric Flair's classic. It's very popular to say, but it's just a classic. And 10. Ooh, this is tough. Because you got DX, you got Shawn Michaels singing his own song. You got Kurt Angle's theme, You Suck, and that's phenomenal. But I got to go with my man. I got to put him in there. Bret Hart, man. But it's an unpopular opinion what I'm about to say. Not the second one, the very first one he had. The Raw, dan, just that one. Not the not the second one. That sounded like that one. That was fire too. I could choose either one. But his very first one, he was like Intercontinental Champion on his come up, won the very first title, WWE title, right before he made that switch to the hard riff guitar part entrance. Goated. That's my man. So I'm biased anything Bret Hart. So I'm not. When it comes to objectivity with Bret, I'm kind of not the guy to ask, because I'm gonna defend my man regardless of what. But that's my guy.
Bret he's the man. He's absolutely best. I'm actually working on a little side project with Bret, going over some of his favorite matches, and actually really my favorite matches, but he's kind of dissecting them with me. So awesome stuff to be out there soon. But what's your favorite Bret match, or maybe a couple favorite Bret matches?
Ooh. How much time we got?
I know. I literally I made a list, and it was like I did 100 matches in like 10 minutes. Like, yeah.
Bret Hart. Okay, you want 5 or 10?
I'll take 10 if you got them. Yeah, that's
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Bret versus Roddy Piper. Bret versus Jerry Lawler in 1993 SummerSlam when he held on the sharpshooter for like 20 minutes.
Yes.
Bret, my second favorite Bret Hart match of all time, Bret versus Owen, WrestleMania 10.
Absolutely.
In Your House, Bret versus Diesel. And yeah, actually, I'll say Bret, the one in the cage where Undertaker came from under the ring and pulled Diesel down. Love that match. Bret versus my third favorite Bret Hart match of all time, Bret versus Stone Cold 1996 Survivor Series. My third favorite Bret Hart match, Bret versus Austin in the submission match with the blood going down his face. That is probably my second favorite wrestling match of all time. Behind. So caveat, I'll give you my other 4. But my top 3 favorite wrestling matches of all time before I finish the Bret list: Rock versus Austin, WrestleMania 17. Undertaker, Shawn, WrestleMania 25. Bret versus Stone Cold submission match. Those are my 3 favorite matches of all time.
Excellent. Yep.
4 more Bret matches. I will give you SummerSlam 97, Bret versus Undertaker with Shawn as the referee. 3 more Bret matches. I gotta really wind this down because I could just watch Bret versus British Bulldog at SummerSlam 92. Phenomenal match. There is a match you can watch on YouTube. It's from like his early days of him versus Macho Man. And them two always had great chemistry. Those are 2 of my top 5 anyway. So that's, I forgot what pay-per-view it was, but they killed it. And one more Bret match that I really love to see. Bret Hart versus Mr. Perfect when he won the Intercontinental Championship, SummerSlam 91. Yep, that's my list. Yep.
Nice. Can't argue with that. Nice. I just always throw in because I love it. King of the Ring '93, Brett versus Perfect from
Bam,
that show. Love that match.
Perfect and Brett versus Bam Bam too.
Yeah.
Those are two. Those were in my mind. I was gonna say those, but I was
Yes.
like, damn, something had to be omitted.
Yeah.
But
You got to move something off. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, but those two. I mean, the man could put on the match with anybody. Like I met him one time, and that was the only time I got starstruck because that was my hero. Only time I got starstruck was when I met him. And I've met a lot of celebrities, and I've been cool. I've been in rooms with people and talked to people. That man was standing there in that line doing that meet and greet, and when it was my time to walk up to meet him, my whole childhood, I was like, I wish, God, hey man, I'm not jealous of no man, but God bless you being able to sit down and talk to that man about wrestling. I hope someday I get to sit down and just thank him because he did so much for me as a young kid and having me believe in myself and having that quiet confidence. He didn't need to yell in his promos. He didn't need to, grandstand. He sold wrestling. He sold excellence of execution. He sold the hitman. I'm gonna go down. I'm gonna break down my opponent. I'm gonna break him down, and I'm gonna latch on that sharpshooter, and the match is done. We're going home, folks. And that's just kind of how I carry everything I do in music. Just that quiet, get the job done confidence. That's my hero right there.
He's a man. He's a god. He's definitely one of the best, easily. And it's funny. I had a buddy of mine that was saying about other wrestlers, like, I don't like this guy. Didn't have good matches. Like, so what about his matches with Bret Hart? And then my buddy goes, it doesn't count. He has a good match with everybody. He's like, you have to pick somebody else. I was like, that is so true. Like, he literally, if you went down the list, he's like, okay, Owen's best match, Bulldog's best match, Perfect's best match, Austin's best match. He it just was the best. Everybody always had their best match against him. 1, 2, 3 Kid. That awesome match from Monday Night Raw was awesome against him. Even which people probably don't remember the match with Fatu Rikishi, but he was Fatu at this point from some random '93 Raw. It's like some 15-minute like classic. It's like holy crap!
Yeah.
Like everybody has an awesome match with Brett. It's crazy.
Now, if I had to pick one that I am mad that I omitted, I am mad that I omitted it, but the match with him and Razor Ramon at that 1993 Royal Rumble when
Awesome.
Razor attacked Owen and then Brett took ass whooping in that match and came back and won. Razor beat his ass that whole match. He sold for Razor the whole match and then came back and won and kept his championship. Man, that dude's the GOAT, man. His cage match with Owen, the cage match with Owen, and 1994 cage match with Owen is obviously his rivalry with Shawn Michaels was what it was, but it's the other stuff that people don't talk about, the matches that he had. Like you said, the match he had with Rikishi, or the matches he had when Rikishi was the Sultan, as you said, and when he had he was fighting his matches. People for some reason didn't like him, but his matches with Bob Backlund in '95 and the dude can work anybody, man. What a legend, man. I love that dude.
Survivor Series '95 versus Diesel is awesome. I mean, he goes through the table. I mean, there's just so many good matches. Hakushi, Jean-Pierre Lafitte, randomly
Hakushi in
Mantar.
1995. Yep, 1995. Yep, man. Good old days, man. Good old days, man. His Hakushi brought the best out of him because he was that athletic, high flying guy. You know what I mean, from overseas, and man, Brett could work anybody, bro. Like I'd never seen him just have a dull. Like he had to fight one type of style. Nah, man. If you was 7 foot, he had a way to wrestle you. You know what I mean? If you was 1, 2, 3 Kid, he had a way to wrestle you. Like, and he can make anybody look good. Anybody look good. He could sell for anybody, make him look good, and he would sell for 1, 2, 3 Kid like he would sell for damn Diesel. It's phenomenal. I mean, you got to be a true legend to be able to do that, and to see how Jerry the King Lawler was really the only person to get under his skin to piss him off that bad for making fun of his family, that he put him in the sharpshooter and would sit there for 30 minutes and would not let go. Just legendary stuff, man.
There's also like all the Shawn Michaels matches, of course, but I found random matches like him versus Mantar. I was like, whoa, Mantar. It's like, I didn't know he had, any good matches. Holy crap. Like, this is great. I mean, it's like 10, 12 minutes, but it was great. It's just like random stuff. There's a Henry Godwin match, actually, a couple of them out there that are pretty good. Quang randomly has a really good match with him. So it's like, man, I don't know, anybody, they could be big, small, short,
Yeah,
fat, like whatever. He just
him,
can work them.
him and the Mountie, him and Virgil had the two good matches.
Yeah. Yeah.
Him and Virgil had good matches.
Yep.
I mean, him and Chris Benoit in WCW in his later years had great matches. I mean, him and Sting had some good WCW fights. The Battle of the Scorpion Deathlock and the Sharpshooter. I mean, dude is just great, man, and just taught me so much about being confident in who you are. You know what I mean, and just selling what you do, what you're good at, and true legend, man. I love him. Congratulations to you on being able to interview him too, man. Congratulations, brother.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that was awesome. It's unbelievable to be able to talk to him about wrestling and like pick his brain. It's like, like the master. Like it's almost like you're going to a class, yeah, like learning about the business for just talking to him. It's like it's crazy.
Absolutely, man. And I look forward to checking that out when you guys have your product. I'm definitely gonna tune in to send it to me, or you know what I mean? I'm gonna definitely tune in and support that. You got my support with that one, brother. Anything,
Awesome.
Brett, you got my support, bro.
Yes, awesome. I love that. Nice. Now, as far as you and obviously some other stuff, what is this life coach and motivational speaking? Was that something you always did, or was that something that kind of got spurred lately or recently?
Yeah, that's who I was before wrestling, actually.
Oh, okay.
I was always interested in just doing motivational content, like deeper self-reflection content, and just for being relatable to people. Now in the content era, it's kind of cool for me to post motivational stuff once in a while. Being able to, do motivational stuff. My music outside of wrestling is become more of that, more introspective, but more motivational. Like my new song that I'm putting out on pretty soon is a motivational record, you know what I mean, and get people like fitness in the gym as I'm working on getting myself back in shape. So and just trying to be motivational, man. It's motivational content. My granddad always said, dude, if you're not going to be a preacher someday at a church, you're going to be a motivational speaker. Just the way you talk, and you always speak life into people, and you don't. My granddad always said, you don't have a hating bone in your body for anybody. You wish everybody the best, but you're also super confident in who you are and what you do. And I believe you find a way to do like motivational speaking and being able to talk to people and help them with their everyday lives and help motivate them. And I do that in my everyday conversation. I don't really talk about myself much. I'm just bigging up other people. It's just how I am, and I just continue to work because I'm confident in who I am. So I don't, lose any sleep over that because I know the work that I put in. But I treat the janitor how I treat the owner of the building. I treat everybody the same. You never know where somebody's going to be. You never know who somebody is. You could be at the top of the ladder today, 3 years from now, right back, building yourself back up. And that person you treated bad could be at the top of the world. So I just always try to do my motivational speaking on just treat everybody the same, show love to everybody, always give back. Don't, enjoy your fruits of your labor and be successful and enjoy that, but never get too high to where you forget, because something in life is always going to bring you back down. You want to shoot for more and shoot for greatness, but also understand that, one, it can all be taken away from you, and two, that there comes a point where you have to give back to others, and you can't, there comes a certain point where you reach as high as you can reach, and then you go through a stage where you have to give back to help others to get to that same level. So that's a lot of what my motivational speech and stuff be about. And it's not always about the money. It's about helping others, and your blessings will come back that way. So that's been my inspiration.
Love that. Love that. Do you go out there and speak like it could be anywhere in the country, or is this online, or you just go certain places you stick in your area?
Right now, it's online. I have done a few speeches for like kids and stuff at like boys and girls clubs and stuff like that. Looking to do like TED Talks and stuff like that. Definitely looking to build that up. I have to put more motivational content out there for people to see. and I will continue to do that and for sure do that. But it is definitely a goal of mine to start doing, put a suit on and do 20-30 minute speeches about life and help motivate people. So that's definitely my next thing outside of still doing wrestling and music and podcasting. That's the fourth branch on the tree, on my web tree, that I want to focus in on. So the other three are sustaining themselves. Now I want to get to that last batch, that last goal of mine, which is take my motivational speaking on like tours and stuff, speaking to people.
What's kind of the ultimate goal in wrestling? What do you want to do? Do you want to be the ultimate theme guy? Do you want to actually, maybe get back out there and perform again on like the big stage, like Grand Slam or something? What's the ultimate goal in wrestling?
Well, the funny thing is about it is I'm not, with me being here 11 years and doing so much, rather being on WWE with the podcast with Swerve or doing AEW music and perform. My next big thing, I would like to perform at like an All In or something like that, like another big platform like that. I would love to do that. You know what I mean? Love to perform at another big platform like that. And I would like to maybe get into a position where I could help other artists, come up and be like a liaison to help other artists come up. And I don't I don't see myself stopping, but I definitely have that performance goal of that someday. But otherwise I just want to keep pushing. I want to keep pushing the envelope and putting my music out there. And I know you'll understand what I'm saying about this when I say this. I want to be the Snoop Dogg of wrestling music. When you see Snoop Dogg, you see him involved. He's like an ambassador for rap now. He's not even just a rapper. He's like an ambassador for rap. So when you see him doing all these advertisements and all these things he's at with Martha Stewart or wherever Snoop Dogg is, it's helping the brand of hip hop. You know what I mean? But he's not necessarily rapping to do it. So if I can be a liaison for wrestling music and be like a face of wrestling music that is out here, but I don't necessarily have to be recording, but I can be, oh man, Teasy's doing this. He's helping wrestling by doing this, or he's helping wrestling by doing that, and help bring other eyes. Kind of like if I could, like my dream goal, honestly, is if I could be like the Titus O'Neil for AEW, where I can go out and just speak and do things on behalf of the company and do speaking engagements and talk to the kids and tell them about what AEW, you know what I mean, what is a company we represent, or you know what I mean. I would absolutely love to do that. So if I can mix that motivational speaking along with the passion for wrestling, I think that's a great goal. So that's what I'm working on.
As we hit the wind down here, head towards the finish, what's next, like in the immediate future? What are you working on, and kind of where can everybody see and hear what you're working on?
Yes. So I have a song with the biggest independent rapper out in the game right now called Russell. That's his name, out of California. He is, once again, the biggest independent rapper out right now doing it. And we have a song called Stomp Out, which is the song I told you about. Stomp Out is released February 2nd on all digital platforms. Make sure you guys go check that out. That will be out very, very, very soon. So check that record out. If you guys go on streaming platforms, it'll be out that day. Please show loves, add it to your playlist. Do some gym exercises to the record and send it to me on social media. I'll repost, I'll share everything. So make sure you guys check that out. I have some new Teasy's Table episodes coming out with some people in pro wrestling now, coming soon. Excuse me. Make sure you guys check that out. At Teasy Jones on Twitter, Instagram, things of that nature to follow when I'm be announcing that news on my next guests for the podcast. For motivational speaking, make sure you guys check that out. I have content I'll be dropping very, very soon to keep that going. So make sure you guys tune in. I got the content already set. I just got to put it out. I have so much going on that I just I put out stuff as things is happening. And outside of the podcast and the motivational speaking stuff and the music, I will be bringing back my Teasy's top 5, where I do like my top 5 albums from this person, top 5 songs from this artist, and that'll be back too. So I have my hands in so many different pots that I'm just trying to stay busy, stay working. I'm also executive producing and A&R and artist representing a lot of my friends' projects behind the scenes, working on their albums. I executive produced Swerve's first album. One of my great friends, John Connor, who was previously signed with Dr. Dre, he just put out his album Food for the Soul too. Make sure you guys check that out. And I A&R'd that, helped put the songs together for it. So he trusted my vision with that and helped me, give input. So I appreciate it. I'm humbled, and I thank you, man, for inviting me on Two Man Power Trip. www.teasystable.com. And for anything Monteasy, if you guys want to follow me, see what's going on, my website is that. If you would like to be on the podcast someday, people, just hit the book tab. If you fit, then hey, you can come on the show. Everybody asked me about that. You have to fill out the form. If it fits, then we can make something happen possibly. And the last thing that I want to say is monteasytv@gmail.com for any bookings. My manager or my people, or you could DM me personally if you know me. We can definitely work out stuff in the future for music, appearances, podcasts. Like my man right here, this is my bro. I've been a fan of him. What he's been doing a long time. He hit me up, and we got the schedule, and we made this happen. So I appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
Teasy, thank you. I'm glad we finally got this done. I appreciate it. Thank you for all the time tonight.
Thank you, man. You guys make sure you subscribe, you follow, you salute Two Man Power Trip. These guys are the good guys. They've been on their grind a long time. And I look forward to everything you guys got coming, man. Thank you.